You may have recently experienced issues playing Raid due to certain in-game bugs. That's our fault, and we've sent a few items, notice the S, to your inbox to apologize for the inconvenience. That's a message from Plarium, and we thought this picture you're seeing here was just a placeholder for the actual items you're receiving, but no, this is the actual gift or compensation gift that was sent by Plarium. Now, this is not a big deal. Server issues happen, a lot of restarts happen, a lot of issues that were going on this week, and it was eventually fixed. People were logging into their accounts that were not their own and all that. Those players will be compensated differently, but just for the entire delay and all that happened, a gift was expected, and we thought we'll get something useful, energy pods, anything that is useful in the game, but instead we got Doom Tower keys to beat the bosses of Doom Tower keys. That's what these keys are used for. I thought it was just a sample picture. Now, it's not a big deal, it's not even worth making a video about, but if the community sees something that Plarium does wrong and you don't call it out, it will continue. So that means every time a server reset happens or a server restart happens, or whenever it goes, a downtime happens, this might be the new norm. This is a new thing we might be getting as gifts from Plarium. I don't think this has ever been done, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time I'm actually seeing a gift from Plarium being 10 keys for Doom Tower. I saw a video a shot Elhades posted. He also was disappointed that it was these keys, and he has not even unlocked the forge to even use it. So a lot of players who have not even unlocked the forge yet, who are affected by this downtime, will not benefit from the keys. So you see Plarium, you giving keys to Plarium to players that don't need it or can't use it or don't enjoy the Doom Tower bosses. It's not ideal. A lot of us also allow these keys expire because we don't have enough time in the day to finish all other more important items or content in the game before we do Doom Tower bosses. So when you do your dailies, you do your advance, you do your clan boss, you have an order of priority. Doom Tower bosses is not that high in a lot of players' order of priority. So these keys again is total trash. I just wanted to make this one clear. If you're also out there in the discords or in the forums, let Plarium know that this is totally unacceptable. If the community accepts this as a gift from Plarium for a lot of downtime that happen, a lot of server resets that happen, this might be the new norm for gifts that we get when these breaks happen. There's a tweet I sent out once when Plarium apologized for server downtime. Instead of being mad at the server downtime or being mad that you are not be able to play the game for 5-10 minutes, I actually celebrated it. I was like, yay, another downtime. That means I get about 500 energy. That's how much we used to get when the server goes down for 5 to 10 minutes or when they're doing a reset or something. You get a lot of energy. So I was looking forward to those server downtimes. I was not praying for it. If it happens, we benefited from it. But right now, this is a sad one. All right, I'm done ranting about this because I'm not going to use it. I've not even spent my 10 keys for today or 15 keys. All right. Another thing I want to tackle today in this video, apart from being mad at Plarium, if you watch my videos in this channel or if you're subscribed to the channel, I usually don't go on rants like this. I don't attack Plarium, but when they do something like this, we need to point it out and let them know that this is not okay. The new guy that everybody's talking about, because the 2x for Sacred event is coming up this weekend as part of the fusion for Fox Hunter. So I wanted to take a look at this dude that everybody's vibing, making a big deal about. What is actually special about him? I heard he's the first champion in the game to have a buff that no other champion has. So let's take a second and read his skills. In the usual fashion, at the end we'll tell you if he's worth it or not. By worth it, I mean, if you do not know, he will be one of the champions that is, or the only champion that will be available as a 10x champion this weekend in the 2x Sacred pools. It's not yet in the game. The announcement is not yet in the game. I saw it from other content creators who talked about it. So let me take a second and also see what his skills actually do. If he's a dwarf, that would be like Brogni, or that would be like other dwarfs that I don't know. They are legendary dwarfs, of course, or Mountain King, or all that. So let's see if he measures up to the dwarf legendary level. On this A1, he attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing 60% increased defense. Always good. For 2 turns, nah. has a 50% chance of placing 60% increased defense on the ally with the lowest HP. Well, I thought it was going to do it on everybody, but 1 turn increased defense on the ally with the lowest HP will not be placed on this champion. So if he's the one with the lowest HP, he will not place it on himself. Has a 100% chance instead if this attack is critical. So of course, if you build in with crit, you always guarantee that whenever this A1 is used, there's a 50% chance. Of course, it can be booked up to 65% chance of placing that increased defense on the ally. It's 100% if it's crit. Okay. So you know to build him with crit if you want that increased defense on this A1. Removes 1 random debuff from all allies. That's like who? Brogni. Brogni does that with one of his skills. Then places shield buff on all allies for 2 turns, equal to 20% of this champion's max HP. Brogni also places shield buff for 2 turns, but Brogni's shield does other stuff which this one does not do. So is equal to 20% of his max HP. That means this champion will be built with a lot of HP if you want him to place this large amount of shield on your allies. And his damage is based on HP. That means we have no problem building a champion whose damage is based on HP with a lot of HP. I see him running with a shield set. I see him running with regeneration sets. You know, those artifacts that give him a lot of HP. So that's the type of sets we are looking at right now when we see this type of ability. So HP champion, high HP, we like that. Finally, Plarium is listening. You know, back then they'll give a champion damage based on defense and then give him an ability that depends on his max HP. But right now they are listening and they are matching their damage based on HP with damage with a skill that uses that HP also. On the A3, he places a 50% increased resistance. Now this is the one that everybody's talking about. A 30% increased speed also on all allies for 2 turns. So increased resistance is a new one. I've never seen this icon in the game. So this is the first time we are seeing increased resistance in the game. So a 50% increased resistance is huge. So right now I'm not quite sure. You guys let me know in the comments below if you're expert at this. When they say 50% increased resistance, does it apply only to this base resistance, or it also applies to the artifacts that he has put on himself? So let's say I have my what's her name now, Lydia, at 300 or 400 resistance. Does 50% mean she automatically gets an additional 200? 50% of 400 is what, 200. That means she'll be about 600 resistance. Or does it only apply to her base resistance? I'd like to know that one. Of course, I can Google it before I did this video, but I did not. So I'd like to know how that math is done. Does it apply to the total stats of the champion, or it applies to only the base stat of the champion? All right, so we know that this resistance will be huge. That's what we know. I know personally from the one you use for aura, when you see a champion that has an aura, I think it applies to the champion's entire calculated stats because the battle has already started. But I'm thinking this one, which is a buff inside a battle, might apply to only his base stats. Let me know. You guys are the pros. And increased speed is also awesome. This is on a 4-turn cooldown when booked. So a lot of players are making a fuss about this one. They are making a huge deal about this because for end game players, resistance is a big deal. You kind of shift away from increased attack, you kind of shift away from decreased defense, or you try to get weaken and decrease defense in one champion so you can have a chance to, you know, have other champions that can do resistance and build your champion with a lot of distance. So I recently started building champions with resistance, Brogni and Seal the Drake, if you've not seen that video, and I can tell you how good it is, especially for high level Doom Tower stages. So that's where this champion might be coming in. When you have a champion like this also, you think he'll be an arena champion. I don't think he'll be an arena champion because it's not a passive that happens, it's an active skill. So if he doesn't take a turn, your resistance is not buffed. So that's where I think this will not be an arena skill. It might be a PvE skill that a lot of players will be using to boost their resistance, especially for those Doom Tower hard bosses where you can't ever get enough resistance to make them not place their buff or debuffs on you. So that's the whole hype about him. So from me reading his A1 skill, A2 skill, A3 skill, I can tell you I'm not too excited. I'm not too excited about it. No, it doesn't seem like something that is game changing for my account right now. Even if I already know the importance of resistance, I think I can build enough resistance to beat a content than going extra hard for this champion. Although if you argue that with him in your team, you might not need to build all your other allies with so high resistance. All right, so let's see the passive, if that helps to make him the legendary champion that he should be. Right now he's looking like a rare an epic champion that has resistance for 2 turns. These other 2 skills are not that special. Increased defense for 1 ally. No, doesn't cut it yet. Allies receive 10% less damage from champions whose resistance is lower than or equal to theirs. So we are assuming that with this increased resistance on us, everybody in the enemy team will automatically have a lower resistance than us. That means 10% less damage. Now, there are other champions in the game who already have a passive that can reduce the damage without having too much condition. I always, right now, I just thought of a epic champion who had that resistance, but his condition is he has to place heal reduction on you. I think that's what's in his name now. He's a dwarf. I don't want to miss it without Geomancer. Yes, I think he also does an aura where is it? Decreases the damage all allies receive by 15%. Right? And deflects the damage onto under HP bomb placed by this champion if there are multiple sets. So I don't think there's a condition to this one. Correct me if I'm wrong. He just decreases the damage by 15%. There's no much condition right here. 15% decreased damage for a epic. Comparing it to a legendary champion that says he's gonna reduce the damage we'll receive by 10%, but we must meet a particular condition. So you see, when I told you that this champion is not yet looking like a game-changing one for me, because I had my reservations. I see him as a champion who has other things that other champions can do, but he doesn't bring anything special as besides this resistance buff. So he's a special use case. He's not a champion you get and use him everywhere in the game. This is like a champion you get and use him only in Doom Tower or use him only against certain bosses that you don't have enough resistance to beat. So we like to get champions in raid that we can use everywhere in the game, except you are end game and you need certain champions, you're very picky, then you can go for these ones. So this means that this champion is not impressing me, and since he's a 10x and he's going to be put into our Sacred 2x event, will you be pulling your Sacreds just to get this champion, or will you wait for the 10x to end and you pull your Sacreds on a normal day when there is no 10x? Speaking from personal experience, if you pull your Sacreds, there's a chance, a very high chance, that you will not even get the 10x champion. You might get your first legendary, it will not be the 10x champion. You might get your second legendary, let's see his face, it will not be the 10x champion. You might get your third and fourth legendary, it will still might not be this dude. So when the 10x launches, I will still pull my shots, because I know the chances of getting the 10x champion is very, very low. It's crazy. So his design is looking good though. He's looking all golden, looking like a librarian. I always forget to review their their design, but like all dwarfs, is looking like a dwarf. Nothing special about this one besides his hair and the book behind him. It's looking like a librarian. His aura, is it resist? Yes, of course. In all battles by 50. We already have an epic that has resist though. Or we already use Brogni as our lead, although that's for Doom Tower, but he has resist in all battles. That means he will do better than Brogni, whose resist is only in Doom Tower. So it seems like they're trying to make him as a general content resist champion, but I don't see it happening. We don't need resist in every dungeon or something. We need resist in Doom Tower and in Arena. So those two places. Okay, the Hydra, yes, Hydra. The buff might help you resist the Hydra stuff. But speaking of Hydra, let's also leave this topic. So before I leave this topic, let me give my verdict on this dude. I will not be pulling for him. If I pull him, I will not be excited. If I finally get him, he will stay in my vault for a while, because I don't think he's a champion that I want in my roster. That's just the truth. I have other better legendaries to build and book than this Boragar the Elder. This is the first time I'm saying his name, Boragar the Elder. So my verdict on him is a good one. Is a special use case. Hydra, Doom Tower, end game players will enjoy him, but if you're a newer player in the game, this is not a champion you need for progression at all. It doesn't bring too much to the battle. Shields is good though, don't get me wrong, Shields is good, but we don't need a legendary champion that just brings shield. We want that shield to do something else, like Brogni's shield does, and want him to bring something else to the battle than just resist. Because I remember newer players, we always sell our resist gear because we don't need them until end game. For Hydra advice, I wanted to also mention that Plarium is really trying hard for us to enjoy the Hydra. They are trying all they can to make sure we start doing the Hydra. Maybe the metrics or results came in this week and it says that players are still not enjoying the Hydra. Players are still letting their keys expire in the clan boss because they're not using it on the Hydra. Even people that can beat Hydra, who has rosters to build and beat difficult stages of the Hydra, still do normal the first stage of the Hydra. So Plarium posted this on their Discord. If you want to take a screenshot or pause and read it, I don't know if I can even zoom in. Yes, I can. It's giving you general advice on how you can beat the Hydra. If you head to their Discord, you might see it. If you need a screenshot or pictures of this, I will post it in our Discord, in the clan Discord. Join the Discord if you want to get copies of it, I guess. Head of Rat, how to beat it. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to waste your time reading this. Why? Because I still hate the Hydra. So they are saying that we are still not fighting the Hydra. We are not spending our keys on the Hydra. We are not excited about the end game champion we are going to get for beating the Hydra and getting all the we're just doing the bare minimum and just leaving it at that. So they are trying hard to promote the Hydra, and they are releasing this information about tips on how you can beat the Hydra. I wonder what's next. Maybe they'll offer to help us build champions to beat the Hydra, or they'll offer us free Shamel for us so we can actually start fighting the Hydra. So who knows? They are really trying hard to push this content on us because it was the biggest content they've released in a long while, and players did not receive it with open hearts, or we are not giving a positive vibe about it. It's still a part of the game nobody wants to touch. We even play the Doom Tower. We enjoy the Doom Tower more than the Hydra, and I'm not even going to talk about the normal clan boss. So that's this information that I wanted to drop today in this video. 3 things I'm mad about. That little gift that Plarium dropped is an insult. Consider it like a beggar you see on the streets, and you stop him and say, hey, do you need anything else? He say, give me $1. And you give him food, you say, no, I don't want food, give me $1. You give him a blanket, you say, no, I need $1. I don't have space to carry all these things, just giving me, I don't know, I have socks, I have gloves. He doesn't need anything from you except $1. So Plarium, we need $1. We need energy. That's what we need. We don't need all these other side attractions that you're giving us, blankets, and we know they're useful in the game, but we need that $1 or some cents from you, not this. Take note, Plarium, don't do this again. This is an insult. All right, I'll end it there. You guys have a good day. If you're not subscribed to my channel, hit that red button. It's totally free. I post Richard Odedon video, random stuff, or some really useful stuff sometimes also. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later, guys. No.